The snow clearly, and the cold is yet to come. It'll be arriving tonight, lasting tomorrow and tomorrow night. Meanwhile, the snow will also continue for the night. It's getting a little bit lighter over the high country, but look at the bullseye of the heavier activity out across the eastern plains. Travel anywhere across the state along I-70 is going to be really bad for the rest of the day. Meanwhile, I-25 for the commuters up and down. We're still tracking pockets of light snowfall. I ramped up the sensitivity of the radar to show you even the lighter snowflakes, which continue over the Denver metro area. Some pockets of heavier activity near Loveland, north of Wellington, out towards Alt and Greeley, and on the south side, southeast Denver. Cherry Creek Reservoir is right about here, Parker, then Castle Rock. This is all the Palmer Divide, and that's going to be a favored area for the continued snowfall throughout the next several hours. And it will pick up in intensity as we head into the evening. Let me shift focus and show you the temperatures. 10 degrees right now in Greeley, down to 8 in Denver. Blackhawk is only 2, and 24 hours. We're going to cool off a lot. For the next 12, we're down to about 8 below zero by 4, 5, 6 a.m. Steady drop in those temperatures as the snow continues. That's problematic on the roads. This is not a major snow, 2 to 5 inches right now, but we sent Marshall out to the Steel Street Bridge to give you a bird's eye view of what's happening down below. Marshall.
I'm taking your roll out here, Matt. Here we're overlooking I-25 to give you an idea of what you may be in for or what your loved ones are in for their drive home. You can see northbound I-25 is going pretty good here, and you can see the lanes on I-25. The far side of the street, however, that's southbound I-25. It's been backed up for a little more than an hour or so. There's been an accident being cleaned up still at I-25 in Hamden, but this is residual from that and will likely last throughout the rush hour. But the good sign, you can see the pavement. It's going to get slick, though, and you can see on the overpass what we're dealing with. No cars coming right now, so I'm going to step out quickly onto Steel Street. In the parts that are not plowed, there are some good collection and accumulation here. You can see our tire mark here, and you can see on the overpass itself, pavement is visible. It is slick, though. Getting to work today, I was taking some side streets, and this is indicative of what you're dealing with the side streets. I went from one not plowed side street to another not plowed side street and spun out because there's a layer of ice underneath. We're going to get more into that later in the now. For now, we want to get you some conditions farther north. Major King reporting from Fort Collins right now, and Major, I'm sure you're dealing with similar side street conditions that we have down here.
Yeah, Marshall, that's right. It's been snowing since about 8 o'clock this morning. It's a really fine, light snow because of the cold conditions, so I'm not sure about the slickness. A little bit earlier today, we shot some video of the Fort Collins trucks heading around town, spreading that Apex solution. When it gets this cold, I'm not sure how well that does because it doesn't seem as melted as it normally would. I also took a quick drive down to Loveland on Interstate 25, where the speeds averaged between a low of, say, 35 miles per hour on up to 60, believe it or not, as I was headed south. Coming back, it was only going about 50 miles an hour, so it looks super slick out there. It made me very nervous to drive down there, and yet I only saw like 2 slide-offs at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we went down to Loveland to speak to Dr. Jamie Timer, who's the medical director at the emergency room in the Medical Center of the Rockies. He's got some good advice about what to do when it gets as bitter cold as it's supposed to get tonight and tomorrow and Wednesday morning. So we'll hear from him coming up later on the Now. For now, we'll toss it to Jason Luber and give us some traffic. Jason?
Yeah, thanks, Major. As you were seeing up there, not only in the Fort Collins area, here in town, it's really not abysmal. It is going to be slick, it's going to be slow, and really going forward is not that bad. It's making turns and trying to stop. That's going to be the problem for us tonight, especially on the side streets. Overall, the volume is lighter than normal. That's very typical for a holiday week. It's exactly what we're seeing. This is residual slowing on the southbound side of I-25 to an accident that's been cleared at Hamden, and then this one for a northbound I-25 accident that's been cleared right near Downing. Those are the commute times. It is, even though on a snowy day, a little bit longer than normal, but not too bad because it is a holiday week. I-70 is the other kind of trouble spot here with some slower traffic because of earlier crashes as well. Take a look at the CDOT camera that's down there at C470 and Broadway. Just a little bit ago, I saw somebody that, again, was going fine and going straight and then tried to make a turn across the lanes and went over here in the snow, spun out, and then got going again. So that's where we're going to see problems here tonight, again, with the turning and trying to change lanes, because once we see that snow stop, these lanes should start to dry out. We'll